It's not very exciting or romantic to walk into an archives and see a bunch of boxes on shelves, but you have to look a little deeper than that and realize that within those boxes reside the historical evidence of what came before us. My name is Steve McShane. I'm the archivist and curator for the Calumet Regional Archives based at Indiana University Northwest in Gary. The archives pursues a particular collections policy. And when I talk about archival materials, I'm talking about virtually any kind of paper-based material. That includes letters, diaries, newsletters of organizations, church bulletins, let's say. It includes programs from events, pamphlets about the area, maps, even things like scrapbooks. In fact, all of these materials, while they might seem commonplace to us, are exactly the kinds of materials that should be stored in a regional archival repository. One can take a trip back in history of our area in a number of different directions. The collections cover a wide variety of subjects. Obviously, industry and business and that sort of thing. Our trademark, I guess, as a region. But also other kinds of subjects. The history of the environmental movements in our area, for example. Politics, obviously, has been interesting, if not downright colorful, over the years. Women's groups, women's history, the various ethnic groups that have traveled here and made lives in America. Records dealing with that whole experience. We also have materials related to the history of community organizations. Another portion of the repository is what I call the regional manuscripts collection. And these are materials that come from either individuals or organizations. And in these collections, then, you can get a more in-depth understanding of various types of history that have gone on here. And again, it's those collections that are gatherings and holdings of what many people consider to be ordinary, but indeed just a simple thing like a series of correspondence files. We also have a section of old newspapers, particular issues that I feel are significant to the region's history. Turns out those are one of the more popular pieces that we have in the archives. People will come into the archives research room, the entryway, and they'll look around and they'll spot these newspapers and immediately are drawn to them. And it's getting funny because some of the papers that I did not feel were historical when I got them, 20 years later are historical. So we also have a section of the archives that contains our reference book collection. And there have been a lot of histories written about the two-county area in northwest Indiana, Lake County and Porter County. And so many people, particularly students, undergraduates, find these books to be of immense help to them. Just because if they have a paper to write or a speech to deliver that has a local focus, oftentimes these local history books can be enough to help them achieve what they need to find out. As well as the history buff who wants to come in, spend a couple of hours just enjoying some local history. These reference books are quite helpful to that person as well. So there are different types of media that are preserved here in the archives. There are different subjects covered and different uses depending on who the researcher is. There's no fee to use the archives. If you're an Indiana resident and you want to make photocopies, that's 10 cents a copy. We also have many photographs, and people sometimes like to get copies of prints to decorate their den or maybe their offices or whatever. So if they want to contact me, if they have materials or they have a question about the archives, they can call me at 980-6628, or they can call me and make an appointment. When I can show them the archives and I can talk to them about how materials are treated here and answer any other questions that they have. Just call and make an appointment and we'll take it from there. Our website address is www.iun.edu. You can go to the IUN homepage, you can click on the library button, and then just click on the archives button, and boom, you're there at the archives website. It's a pretty good operation, and it's really the only truly archival repository in the two-county area that has this regional focus. So from humble beginnings, the Archives has become a really significant archival repository in Northwest Indiana as well as the Midwest, and I like to think even points beyond that.